Well, good evening, everyone. We'll get ready after Sam's finished. No, I love you like a brother. All right, let's go ahead and call this meeting of the City of Santee to order. It's Wednesday, March 13th, 2024, at 6:30 p.m. Let the record reflect that all council members are present and accounted for. And tonight, the invocation will be led by me, and the Pledge of Allegiance. I haven't looked that good in a long time. And the Pledge of Allegiance will be the other side of my leadership, Vice Mayor Dustin Trotter. So let's please rise for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Divine Father, as we gather tonight, we humbly invoke your presence and guidance. Grant us the spirit of unity, wisdom, and civic duty as we convene to serve our community together. We stand as stewards, bound by your shared commitment to its prosperity and well-being. May our decisions be illuminated by justice, fairness, and an unwavering dedication to the common good. We acknowledge the weight of responsibility entrusted to us, knowing that our actions shape the future of generations to come. In this solemn assembly, we seek your blessings of clarity, compassion, and purpose. May our endeavors be guided by the noble ideals of public service, dedicated to uplifting all who reside within our city's bounds. We pray you, Father, to extend your healing touch upon our nation and to the state of California. Infuse us with a plan for unity and hope and safeguard the city of Santee under your watchful gaze. With our hearts open and spirits aligned, we embark upon this meeting, seeking your divine wisdom and grace. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. That takes us to the consent calendar. Before we get started, I want to register an abstention on item number 4. Are there any items to be added, deleted, or reordered? Ron?
No, but I would like to note that I'm going to vote no on number 6.
Thank you. And Laura?
No.
Vice Mayor?
Mr. Mayor, I need to register an abstention on number 6.
Thank you. And Rob?
I was thinking this would be the time we should maybe talk about all of them individually.
Okay. Oh, did you want to do the line-by-line item?
Motion to approve consent calendar.
Second.
Please vote.
Seriously? Can you?
It's not, I'm locking it in. It's. Oh, there we go.
I know. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. That takes us to a non-agenda public comment. Any speaker slips?
No, sir.
Thank you. That takes us to new business. Item number 8 is a resolution amending the management service agreement of the city clerk. And I think HR is going to handle this, or do you want me to go through it?
No, I have it. I got it.
Thanks.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Council. This item is brought forward in accordance with SB 1436, which requires an oral report for any executive compensation actions. On April 19, 2018, the city entered into an agreement with Annette Ortiz to serve as the city clerk, which has been amended 4 times. On February 14th and February 28, 2024, a public employee performance evaluation for Ms. Ortiz was conducted by the City Council in accordance with the California Government Code. As a result of this evaluation, the City Council provided direction to staff to draft an amendment for Ms. Ortiz's employment agreement to include a 6.5 merit increase, which will increase the current annual salary to the top of the band, which will be $145,491.20 to be effective February 14 of 2024. The proposed salary amount is within the salary band for the position of city clerk, which is on the city's approved salary schedule. Staff recommends that the City Council adopt the resolution approving the Fifth Amendment to the employment agreement. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any speaker slips?
No, sir.
Thank you. Any questions from council? All right, do I have a motion to approve?
Lots of questions, but
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Please vote. Did it work that time?
Well, if we can't vote, we should just,
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. That takes us to non-agenda public comment. Any,
No, sir.
thank you. And city council reports. Anything, Ron? Laura?
Yes. He groaned. But the mayor and I, last Friday, attended a Sandag retreat, which was all day. And I thought there were a few things. I'm sure John, well, maybe would have some things to say. It was all day, so there's a lot of information. But I thought a couple of items that were interesting, the data, you know, just looking at it that day, we found some errors in their data about employment trends or employment information for each city. So I think our city probably should take a deeper look at that to make sure the Sandag data is correct. I'm sure some other cities are going to do the same. They asked us to come up with BHAGs, which are big, hairy, audacious goals. And like, if you had a magic wand, what would you do differently?
you never heard that before?
You've never heard of BHAGs? Well, okay, yeah. Anyway, so my BHAG was to create an incentive for seniors, meaning me, people that live in single-family homes, to an incentive to move out. Instead of building new homes, which seems to be impossible, if we had move out, you know, I mean, we're stuck in our homes because it costs too much to move out of them. And if there was some kind of incentive for us to move out, so we were paying the same mortgage, we would downsize, and then a family could move into those homes. So I think maybe that's a solution that hasn't been looked at in Sacramento. They'll give loans to, you know, non-citizens. They'll give loans to a slew of people, but I really think the inventory that they want is the inventory that a lot of us have. And our children are grown and out of the house. So that was my BHAG. And then they talked about the future demographics of the San Diego region. And I don't know if this is going to happen, but this is what they're projecting, is that San Diego will be more like a Florida resort town because there's not enough births to support. They just see that the population is going to hit a peak and then trail off. People are getting older. So it was akin to a Florida kind of situation, which, you know, that may be true. But then there's also going to be that big wage gap between the service industry helping the older people and, you know, and then those people not having a place to live. So they imagine a lot of people will be coming from south of the border for those jobs. I don't know. I mean, hearing about it now, we should probably think about it now. And what I think Santee might be well suited for is to really focus on, you know, the healthcare industry as a whole, as a way to protect our growth. We have an aging community. We have Sharp, Ristilli. I'm looking at you, Ron. We have an aging community. And we have Sharp Ristilli here, and we have Lantern Crest. Perhaps there's an opportunity to just expand on that. So those were my thoughts from the retreat, and also congratulations to the Santee Sheriffs at the Chamber Awards Thursday last week. They were voted Santee's favorites.
Santee's favorite government organization. Well, I'll go ahead and follow up a little bit more on the retreat. It was very interesting. We had an opportunity to discuss the governance, somewhat, I guess, lack of a better term, the governance of Sandag and what is expected of the people that are on the board of directors. And I certainly had an opportunity to speak, and regardless of what some of the people thought, I basically told people they need to check their ego at the door, need to check their political party at the door, and work together. In that, we're all going to have some philosophical differences, but not to engage in, meanness, name calling, or things of that nature. And talked about how over the years we've had so many different types of government, I'm going to say parties in charge, so to speak, and they all seem to work together because they had a more of a purple philosophy. And so there's that, seems to be that willingness to work that way. I didn't hear anybody talk about no, we can't do that, or, oh, you're just trying to take over, those kinds of comments or questions. I think deep down we all know where we sit or stand on a lot of those issues. But if you are in North County and there's something that happens, it doesn't necessarily make you feel good because you might feel like you're missing out, but it's something that needs to be done in East County, and it's absolutely imperative that you be part of the solution to making whatever we need to happen out here, whether it's the 67, the 52, or even down a little further south of 194 and 125, and to work together to make those things happen. And so I think that went over pretty well. At least I think it did. I didn't get any negative feedback. Because it's just like, and I use our city council here as an example. We may not always be exactly aligned, but we are respectful of discussing our points of view, and then whatever the vote is the vote. And I just, it's wishful thinking, it's hopeful thinking, but I wish and I hope that other, people that are in our position in government would still act the same way and do the right things. You're never going to get it 100% correct. There's going to be something that, fouls up from time to time, and they need to understand that. So enough about that. But this Friday, we're going to have interviews all day long for a new CEO of Sandag. So I look forward to that and seeing the people that were brought forward as candidates and discussing what their thoughts and our ideas are, and finding out what their experiences are to work in an organization like that. So that's what we got going on over at Sandag. Vice Mayor?
No report, sir.
Councilman?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for your report on Sandag, but I've got concerns over that, especially with the new CEO that's going to be hired. The issues that we've had thus far were lack of transparency at best. I would call it all and out lying, but we'll call it lack of transparency. When you're telling voters that we're going to build new roads and new freeway roads, but not telling them that those roads are going to be bicycle lanes, that's not fair. It's maybe the letter of the law, but not the spirit of the law. And that's exactly what's happened for years over at Sandag. I remember when he was in here and he was talking about expanding the $1 billion, he wanted to expand the trolley system and all that. And then even said right here at our dais or at the lectern that, oh yeah, this isn't going to work. We need high-speed rail. But you're asking our taxpayers to pay $1 billion for an expansion of the trolley system that you already know is a broken system, and you want to put in a train system, a high-speed rail system. It's silly. It's the reason that individuals, that the average Joe doesn't trust any elected official in any capacity, is because of these types of things. And so when you're doing those interviews, I just highly suggest you find somebody that actually wants to move people around the way that they're actually moving around. I get it. Maybe 50 years from now, maybe 100 years from now, maybe electricity will be the thing. But as of right now, there's way too many flaws with electric vehicles, with the charging stations, with the availability, with all of that, to force that on our citizens in San Diego County. We are not a downtown urban hub. We are a suburban hub of a county, and people need gas-powered vehicles to get around. God bless you if you can get through and you can stay local and just need an electric vehicle or electric bicycle for all, if you can get away with that, like Mr. Mayor likes to ride around on his electric bicycle. But the vast majority of the population that has to put a suit on and go to work every day and be professional in their appearance, you're not going to do that. You're not going to ride a bicycle when it's raining. You're not going to ride a bicycle when it's 100 degrees outside. It's just not feasible. And we need to be cognizant that that's actually, heck, even the guys that are working their butts off swinging a hammer, they're tired. They don't want to ride a bicycle or any of that stuff. Let's be realistic of what the masses need, what they want, and work towards that instead of trying to force a square peg into a round hole. And that's what Sandag has done for way too long, and we just need to stop it. We've wasted so much money on stuff that's not realistic. Planting flowers on the sides of freeways and talking about improvements to the freeways. That's not an improvement to the freeway. That's improvement to flowers on the side of the freeway. We want to make sure our car doesn't bust a tire while driving on the freeway, not a flower on the side. These are the things that we've seen, that we've experienced, and you guys are in a position right now to make that change and make it for the long haul. It's like being the president and electing a Supreme Court justice. Like, you are in that position right now where you can put somebody in position that's going to be there for the long haul, that can change the actual mapping of San Diego County into perpetuity. And you've got that power right now. I hope you wield it well, and I hope you guys make the right decisions. And I agree with you. It's not a partisan thing. But let's be realistic about the reality of today's world and the next 20, 30 years. We are not going to get away from electric or from gas. Let's be honest about it. And let's help build the roads that need to be built, finish the freeways that need to be finished, and expand those that need to be expanded.
I would just add, and we don't disagree with what you said. I would just add that it was interesting to hear from the staff level. They had 4 executive staff members come up and talk about their different departments and what they do. And I forget her name because I just met her there, but she talked about how state legislature is incongruent with goals. And even at the Sandag level, it's so frustrating to get basic stuff done that everybody wants because the laws up there contradict each other. And she basically said to all of us, but we know who has the power up there, what they could use help with is, talk to the people up there to fix these things so we could actually do the things that the citizens voted on and make progress. It's so, I feel bad for them.
Fair enough. And I agree with that. I understand that. We deal with that here at the dais here. We deal with that all the time. But the reality is you had somebody that was in power there at Sandag for a number of years that actually believed in this type of stuff, believed in bicycle lanes on our freeways, believed in spending money on a system that he already knew was broken. He believed in this stuff because he wanted to push people out of their cars. That was the goal. That was the promise. That's what he totally believed in. Let's be realistic with the next person, is all I'm asking.
Well, and the vote for the next person is, I mean, doesn't it come through the executive level? It's not,
It goes through both.
No, yeah, the way that works is that we'll hold all these interviews, narrowing it down. And then we will bring the probably two top, vote getters, I guess you could call whatever. And then the entire board of directors will have the opportunity to ask questions. And I think you would agree that there's not anybody that's going to be very shy there about asking questions.
they already had a session at the retreat where everybody said what kind of questions that they expected to have asked.
Right.
So we did. And,
How did you feel about those questions?
well, I got to put my own questions in there.
Okay, but how did you feel about the general questions?
I thought they were good. There was a lot of focus on more transparency. I think everybody felt there was not transparency, that he led my way or the highway, and he's no longer there. And that's, a big part of the reason. But sometimes it takes a while for you to see somebody's, what we recognized right away, maybe other people didn't, because of the way we were impacted as, East County. So,
All right, okay, I'm going to actually say we need to wrap this up because we're getting way outside the report portion of it.
Fair enough. Now,
But I agree with you 100%. And that's exactly the direction I'm going to be going in with my questioning. I'm not going to allow them to give me the questions to ask, if that makes any sense at all. So,
all right, so my report.
Thanks.
Madam City Clerk, can you put the PowerPoint presentation on for us? I'm done. I'm just messing around. I had $40 on 7 o'clock, so I was really pushing, but.
Jeez Louise.
well, give me a minute or two. City clerk, city manager.
Okay, we're going to 7 o'clock. Is that what we're aiming at? Okay. All right. So I have two items real quickly for the council this evening and for our community. Two events that are coming up in the next couple of weeks before our next city council meeting. One of them came to the attention of city staff today. We provided the city council a copy of a media update. You're all going to be excited about this. It's from Chuck E. Cheese, okay? Don't get too excited. Just hang on. Chuck E. Cheese is going to have the first launch party of their first Chuck E. Cheese cookbook here at the Santee store. And it's going to be on Tuesday, March 19th from 3 to 5 p.m. They're going to have character signings of the book. They're going to give away the first 50 families in line will get free cookbooks and priority signing space. Cookbooks will be available for purchase, and they're going to have an opportunity to have guests enter to win a Chuck E. Cheese membership. So if you, your family, your children, or relatives are into Chuck E. Cheese, go on March 19th and have a chance to get a cookbook. Second, the next thing that's going on is the city of Santee is sponsoring our holiday event on March the 23rd, and that's our Bunny Trail event. So if you haven't ever been to that or seen it, it's adorable. Take your children, take their Easter baskets, go down to Santee Trolley Square. The event goes from 10 to 1 on a Saturday the 23rd. Our community services department has done a great job in years past, and I have no doubt this year is going to be even more outstanding. It's a lot of fun. You have characters, you collect your eggs, you go visit the stores, and you win some prizes. And everybody gets a good time and a happy holiday for Easter. So that is my report. Stretched it a little bit there for you. Thank you very much, sir.
City clerk, city attorney.
No report, Mayor.
That's best I could stretch it. Call them the wrong person again. All right, then. No closed session. You're going to be off by 6 minutes here, council member. Son of a gun. All right, then. We're going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting.